Did was there any comparison with New Edition when he came out with Mamacita when you were coming out with that debut album at the time? Did people say, "Oh, you guys are like New Edition"?
Well, a couple of times, and we replied, said, just wait until you see more songs and more dancing, and the different styles are different, and the different harmonies and the different leads. I said, you guys will see. But at first, yeah, they did say that. Yeah, they did say like no audition, and we felt like we wasn't nothing like them. Not even from Mamacita, nothing,
Yeah.
nothing. But people would say that. Yeah.
How do you think? How did yourself and Atlantic feel like the debut album did they think it was a success, or were they disappointed with sales compared to what Bobby and New Edition and Guy were doing?
Well, it went past gold. So that was success right there for Atlantic Records and us. It went past gold, so that wasn't bad for '88.
Yeah.
Right now a gold record is still good, but for '88 it was really wonderful for a new group to compete with all those acts and go past gold. Yes, man, that was great. That was great success. Oh yeah,
Yes, as I said, you only released three singles. Um,
yeah.
did at this point then, you know, when did you guys start to even learn about the business? But by the time, or did you still, was it when you guys did Attitude that you started to read the business and things?
I think the second album, man, is when after all the tours, after all the videos, and meeting certain people and hanging around certain people, I think the second album is when business really started. Yeah, it
Okay.
started like serious. Which writers, Stephen Allen would want to write more. We would want a certain type of sound. Um, just even with paperwork, we want a different. And the second album, I can say that's when it started. Yeah.
Is it when you were making the second album or after it finished?
No, I think during making it. I think
Okay.
making it. That's when it started. Yeah.
Looking at the timeline, I mean, it feels as if you guys went back. It feels as if you guys went back in the studio within a few months of the debut album coming out to start recording Attitude. That's 6 months.
6 months.
Okay, that
Yep.
seems
Yep.
very. It
Yep.
seems very unusual to your first album is out and still releasing singles, and you're going back in to make another album. What was the reason behind that?
Well, I think with Atlantic Records and our manager, I think that it was to keep up with the guys, the Bobby Browns, New Edition, even Tony, they were doing great too.
Yeah, with the
Just to
revival
keep
album.
up with it, yeah, to keep up with what was needed was a new sound right away, some hot dance tracks right away, and to get more into the sound. What was the sound now that Chuck that Teddy Riley started?
New Jack
New
Swing.
Jack.
Yeah.
We had to get we had to get a part of that right away. Like My Heart and Still in Love, great songs, but they wasn't at right at that moment they wasn't turning the corner to how music was turning. So we had to get right back in there because we had been successful off the new album, the first album. We had to get right in there and get on board, man. We had to get right
Wow.
back on board. So I think that's the reason why. I think that's the reason why we went in so quick.
Okay. Yeah. And the Attitude album for me is my favorite from you guys. And for the producers you had on this album, you had Joyce Irby with her young protege Dallas Austin. You still had
Yeah,
Mark Golding and Levert. You had Chucky
yeah,
Booker, and it also seems as if Steve, you guys, well, Stephen and Alan were doing a little bit more writing on that album.
yeah, yes, yes. It wasn't a lot, but they had started. Yeah, they just had started writing on that album. Um, the group of producers we had at that time, I felt it was perfect for Troop, just from the demeanor to everything. It was just so perfect. Nobody really stood out like a sore thumb. Nobody did. No producers. No. It was just so perfect, man. Everything was lined up so perfect. Even when Stephen Allen had started writing, everything was just lined up perfect. Almost every song we liked. There wasn't too many songs we turned down. It wasn't a lot, not a lot. But it just went perfect, man. It's like what else can you say, man? It was so perfect, man. Like wow, we sometimes when stuff is so perfect, it kind of seems like it's easy, but it's
Mm.
not easy. But when it's perfect, what can you say?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, it is my favorite Troop album. And I interviewed Joyce Irby, and
Uh-huh.
told her about my music and my love. Really enjoy,
Yeah.
and I'll always love you. Um,
Oh. Oh.
what do you remember of working with Joyce Irby? Because she was, a trailblazer as a female producer coming from the classic group Climax. What do you remember being in the studio with Joyce?
Okay. Okay, you really want to know the truth? What I was thinking as a young guy, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was thinking one thing. There's one song that I love to go to the club and dance. Uh, Men are paused when I walk into the room. The men are paused. That's all I kept thinking. I ain't gonna even lie, man. That's all I kept thinking because I love the song so much, and I was amazed to see her and just like, wow, she actually got a song that one of my number one favorite songs in the day, and there
Wow.
she is. So I didn't go deep into all the talent, and I just love that I was around her, and she don't even know how many times I danced to that song. I danced to that song 100 times. That's where my mind was, man. Honestly, straight look at her, again, all pause. That's the only thing I was thinking of. I promise, man.
Oh goodness. But how did the when you were working on Say My Music, which is a nice New Jack track, d d does she come up and says, "Okay, we're going to do this," and or how do you remember working on in the studio how the music, the production and the session went?
One particular song, my music, I remember, and the fellas probably get on me because I be wrong sometimes, but I know my music. She had, she kind of had us writing our own parts, plus her help, but she kind of had us kind of doing some writing a little bit on, cause we all had a part on my music. Everybody had a part,
Hmm.
but I think she was kind of like letting us do a little bit, and she was writing and she was letting us do a little bit. I think she was just kind of teaching us at the time that this is what you're gonna need to do, fellas.
Wow.
Even though she was running it, but she still kind of let us do a couple of little writing lines here and there. Well, I can remember, yeah, she let us, and that was like for me, that was like wow. I mean, I got my first lead. I got my first little lead part, man. Because of Joyce was like everybody should have a part on my music, and that was
Wow.
my first time doing a lead, a little lead. I was kind of rapping, singing a little, really. But it was Joyce, man. I think she was teaching us that this is how it's going to be, and this is what you need to do instead of just always sit back waiting on people to deliver songs you can do yourself. And I think that really, really, really kicked it off right there when she was kind of letting us do little lines here and there. And I do remember that. I do remember that from her. I remember that really, really good from her.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
They don't understand what Joyce's voice is winning all spirits.
Play it.
these guys, they all work together.
I mean, I love all different genres.